Up next, we have Junaid Taj and Mike Connelly from ChainSafe's Web3.js team. And our Web3.js team is one of our more important teams for the Ethereum community as we manage that all-important Ethereum library for the entire ecosystem. So they'll be talking about the Web3.js Makeover. And before we begin, I'm going to quickly introduce our speakers. Junaid is a team lead of the Web3.js project at ChainSafe Systems. He has over a decade of experience working for tech giants, blockchain startups, before joining ChainSafe Systems. He has experience in many technology areas, including big data applications, blockchain, and information security. He is a certified ethical hacker and professional Scrum master. And then also presenting with Junaid is Mike Connelly, who is a technical project manager at ChainSafe and manages the Web3.js project. Prior to joining the ChainSafe team, he was a manager overseeing a software as a service implementation team. His technical passion and experience, which he credits to his time in the Marine Corps, gave him the tools to join ChainSafe and the blockchain industry. Note to self, don't mess with Mike, he will kick my ass. Without further ado, though, I would like to invite Mike and Junaid up to the stage, and you guys can take it away.
Hey, thanks for the introduction. You're too nice, so I'm never going to kick your ass, so to speak. So anyways, let me share my screen and get started. All right, I think you can see everything. Again, feel fortunate to be able to speak at this presentation and representing the ChainSafe team with myself and Junaid. So here to talk about the Web3.js Makeover. So it's not any makeup or hair salon or anything like that, but what we're doing with the Web3.js application. So a lot of you may know what Web3.js is, some may not know. So let's go over what Web3.js is. So technically speaking, it's an Ethereum JavaScript API, which allows you to interact with a local or remote Ethereum node. So exciting, right? It doesn't sound exciting, but it serves as an important tool. The Web3.js package allows users to retrieve user account information, send transactions, or interact with smart contracts and other actions. So a very useful tool within the Ethereum development community that we're working with. So just to go into a little bit of the past with Web3.js and where it's kind of come, which you could say it had a turbulent past a little bit. So it had broken releases. It was stuck in beta for many years. There was old style JavaScript. There were broken TypeScript declaration files, and it was bloated with large file size. So this was due to the Web3.js application actually being an open source project. So it had many development contributors and everything with that. So I kind of put it to an analogy, maybe in those first years, as maybe flying in a plane for the first time, and you come across some turbulence. Might be thinking to yourself, is anything broken on this plane? Or how long has this plane been in circulation? Is it an old plane? So there's the same things that was actually going on with the Web3 application, because things were broken and things were in beta. And so it could be hit or miss if maybe it was working correctly or how many bugs there were with it. So with that, enter in the ChainSafe team in late 2020. So in coordination with the Ethereum Foundation, we've taken the lead in maintaining the Web3 libraries and making some big improvements to the application. Within the Ethereum development community, there may be multiple choices out there for them to choose from, what they want to use. But let's look at just what Infura, the company Infura, had to say about the Web3 project specifically. So recently they said the Web3.js is the best for those who prefer the most used Ethereum JavaScript library that is also maintained by a blockchain-focused firm, as in ChainSafe. So, and for those unaware, Infura is a blockchain development suite. So that statement says a lot, in my opinion, on kind of how it is viewed in the community now. Currently, as an open source, you can download this application at the NPM website. And the NPM website is part of the JavaScript community, and it helps support the developer ecosystem. So to highlight some of the adoption of the Web3 application, since ChainSafe's taken over and maintaining it, the weekly downloads have more than doubled since taking it over. And that's due to the Ethereum community, obviously growing just naturally, but also the stability and the growth with the Web3 application that it has right now. So just looking at some numbers that we generated and taking kind of a weekly average, last month in November, we're tracking around 360,000 weekly downloads. If you compare that to last year, when ChainSafe took over the application and maintaining it, that's an increase of over 100% weekly downloads that we're receiving. So, and currently it has over 3,400 dependents for that application. So things are moving in the right direction for the team and the project. So enough with the kind of the past, and things were troubled and some turbulence with that. So I want to talk about the positive things and where the Web3.js is moving. So we have 3 pillars with our team for the Web3.js project at ChainSafe. So the first pillar is to maintain the 1x branch. This is the oldest running version of Web3.js. And the goals with this in our maintaining the application is to transition the 1x to have long-term support. So we are right now, we're maintaining the critical updates, critical bugs or anything with it. But we want to support for current users. We want to support those current users until we hit the 4x release, and that can take over. So, and you may notice that, mentioned here, talk about a 1x branch or a 4x branch. Where is 2 and 3? So those are, since it was open source application, there are versions of that, but it's the usage on it is very low compared to the 1x version with that. So while we're doing this transition, you can still submit issues with the 1x branch. So it allows us to understand the current problems, and we can incorporate that into 4x, or specifically if there's feature requests for the 1x branch. So our second pillar that we have with the team is that new 4x branch. And with that, that's going to be based in TypeScript. So we're rewriting everything and upgrading the all the libraries into TypeScript. And this is going to allow for feature parity for an alpha version. And we'll have an alpha testing phase as well when we're trying to convert those development users over to the updated 4x branch. And also, if there's any development resources out there, if you're looking to help test the new 4x branch, later slide, I will have information on signing up for a newsletter. So you can follow that at the end of the presentation. And third is going to be to igniting our development community with Web3.js. So in the first quarter of next year, we do plan to launch a new Web3.js.org website. And the goals of that website is to improve the documentation. We know that it's lacking where it currently is. And we want to provide guides and tutorials for new developers to make it easier to onboard them with their projects. And we want to create an environment for Web3.js users to better interact and help each other with that library. So we want to just energize that development community. Again, I'll promote it. We will have a sign up in a later slide. So we'll be covering that as well. So here's where I'm going to transition to my team member, Junaid, and he'll go over a little bit, maybe some more technicals. We won't go too deep into the technical side of things, but he'll cover a few slides with that.
Thank you, Mike. So thank you for covering nicely bigger picture. We will be switching to a couple of more technical details of 4x. Could you go to next slide? Yeah, so as a summary, the 4x release will be backward compatible. We will make sure that migration will be easy. for users who are currently using 1x, and there will be so many improvements in Web3.js 4x release. There will be some breaking changes, which I'll be jumping in the next slide and we'll be sharing with you, but we'll make sure that the transition is smooth for users and adoptability is also easy. Mike, could you? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so the bigger change, we will be retiring Web3.shh package that was for Whisper protocol. So it will not be included in Web3.js 4x. The exciting thing which we will have in Web3 4x is we will be having Web3 consensus package. So we all know that ETH2 or the beacon chain was renamed to consensus layer. So like we will have functionality for users to allow interacting with beacon, node or validators or configuration. So it will be much easier like interacting with the future Ethereum with Web3.js. Third thing, as Web3.js is a clean implementation in TypeScript. More specifically, we are using TypeScript 4.4, and we will be supporting Node version 12 or greater, and our 4x branch is based on ES 2021, which is ES 12, ECMA script 12 version. So as we will be rewriting the whole Web3.js in TypeScript, so we will not be using the traditional JavaScript prototype overrides and like complex this statements. So these couple of things were in 1x, which were not so good. And this will be a huge improvement in 4x as we will be like using object-oriented paradigm approach. So it will be much cleaner and easier to maintain and easier to understand. A breaking change will be another breaking change will be in most of the functions. We will be removing callback support in 4x. The last but not least, we will have a new feature where we will allow users to specify the types for each method. One example that I have is like if someone is calling get block number function and he need a result in hexadecimal or big int or number, user will be able to specify the result type in the function argument, and he will get that. So it will be much easier for users like directly getting the desired results instead of doing casting and parsing sort of thing. This will be optional if someone want to have their own desired results. So yeah, these are a couple of details. I will be passing control back to Mike.
All right, thanks, Junaid. So just want to introduce the rest of the team. You obviously have met myself, Mike, and Junaid, but we couldn't do what we're doing on this project without the whole team working hard together. So just a shout out to Alex, Wyatt, and Nazar for being an awesome development team and helping move this project into the new direction of the 4x rewrite. And I've mentioned it a couple times, but here's the newsletter sign up. With this, you'll get direct communication from the ChainSafe Web3.js team, and that's going to incorporate new release updates, important announcements, and any additional technical benefits that'll help you to get onboarded and using the Web3.js application. And as you've seen maybe in other presentations on how to look at our careers page, and just to kind of mention, we are looking to kind of add to our development team on the Web3.js project. So if you're if you have experience with JavaScript, TypeScript, take a look. We'd like to see some applicants for our team. Outside of that, if you need to communicate with Junaid or I put our Discord accounts on here. And then also if you want to look at the Web3.js project If you're interested in contributing at all, you can see that at the GitHub link there. So I want to thank everybody for the time and presenting the information on the Web3 project.
Awesome, Mike. Amazing. Thank you again for your presentation on Web3.js. I'm so glad to hear you're not going to kick my ass if I piss you off or anything. Is there any questions from the audience? No, it doesn't seem like there's questions in the Q&A section. If anyone has questions, feel free to raise your hands right now or ask them quickly. Oh, we got one. We have one. What's been the most difficult change that has to be made in the new versions?
I'm going to leave that, Junaid, if you want to come on here, you might be better apt to kind of answer the technical side of that.
Yeah, so it's a complete rewrite, as I mentioned. We are writing the Web3 4x from scratch. So the challenging part was a little bit like architecture, and I think team already did very well in that. And another thing will be like we will make sure that the transition is very smooth from 1x to 4x, and we will. Our attempt is like having the minimum breaking changes.
Awesome.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you for that. I don't believe we have any other questions. If anyone wants to raise their hands, feel free to. Nazar says keeping the 1x parity is quite difficult, and Nazar is also on the Web3.js team. So awesome. Hey, thank you guys so much for your time and for presenting on Web3.js. You guys do really, really important work for the entire Ethereum ecosystem and like EVM chains as well. So thank you again for your time and for your hard work. And yeah, cheers.
All right. Thanks, Tim. See you.
Bye.
Bye.